So we had a record-breaking game. The Miami Dolphins put up 70 points and 726 yards of total offense in a 50-point win over Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. A truly humiliating loss for Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. So I want to know, do you think the Dolphins are really this good, or are the Broncos really this bad?
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. The Dolphins look great, right? Their offense is one of the best I've seen. They've got skilled players there. It looks like they have two great running backs, Mostert and this other guy. He's a rookie.
Is it
right?
Achane, I think he wants to.
Yeah, he had, 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns.
On Sunday, and 200 yards rushing or something like that. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And they asked McDaniel after the game, what is it? He says, well, it's fundamentals, everyone doing their job. Sounded like Bill Belichick to me. Focusing on what your assignment is and executing as accurately as possible. And it's not all about saying, well, we're going to go out and win the Super Bowl. They're focused on football and on the individual plays and on the individual assignments of all the players. And I think that speaks a lot for that guy and his coaching style. On the other side of the ball, I would say Sean Payton is probably wondering, what the hell did I get myself into here? Why did I take this job? And I think he has alienated his players. They gave up on him in this game, right? They basically gave up. They after it got to some certain score, I don't know, 40-10 or.
I would think at halftime.
What was the score at halftime?
At halftime, they had 35 points.
35.
It was 35 to 13, I think.
35 to 13. I don't know. Probably wouldn't give up just them, but then the Dolphins came out and just obliterated them in the second half. So he's got some problems there. The players and their commitment to the game. It was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment. He said it was hard to watch. Yeah, well, what's he going to do now? What's he going to say to those guys? I don't know. And he's dissed Russell Wilson in the press and the players. Maybe they don't buy it. Maybe he's lost the locker room. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I think it would be incredibly difficult for a guy like Sean Payton and with the history that Sean Payton has of success to lose a locker room, 3 games in. However, I will say this. The defense of the Denver Broncos has regressed tremendously. 1 point late in the year, they had the number 1 pass defense in the entire league. Now they go up and give up 7, that's a Madden number. 70 points in a game and 726 yards of offense. First off, I'll say this. The Dolphins are the first team to score 5 rushing touchdowns and 5 passing touchdowns in a single game, which is absolutely absurd. Not only that, 70 points, they were 3 points away. They had an opportunity to kick a field goal to set the record, but instead they decided to kneel it, which, you're that close. And by the way, Tua said that, I'm paraphrasing it, but it wasn't about, embarrassing them or anything. You put up 70 points.
They embarrassed them.
It's going to be an embarrassing performance when they put up 70 points anyway, but that was the most since 1966. And 726 yards was the most. It's the most in NFL history, but it was the most since the Rams did it back in 51. I think they had 722 yards, if I'm not mistaken. So this was an all-around dominant performance. But this was not about, an absolutely soul-crushing defensive performance from the Miami Dolphins. This was an offensive masterpiece. And I said this when I did my top 10 list last year. I put Tua as a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the league when healthy. This Mike McDaniel system, it works extremely well. And also take into account this, they were without the number two receiver, Jalen Waddle. He was out, I believe, with a concussion that he got against the Patriots the week prior. So the fact that they didn't even have their, super great number 2 wide receiver, and they still were able to put up 70 points on the board, as well as 726 yards of offense, is absolutely incredible. Hell, even Mike White was dealing a little bit. He went 2 for 2 for 67 yards and a touchdown.
Wow.
We're talking about Mike White here.
Yeah.
So not only, by the way, Tua, I think he went 18 of 18 before his first incompletion. I think it was 16 of 16 by halftime. So he was absolutely dealing in this entire game. Russell Wilson actually didn't have an absolutely terrible game.
I know. I saw that. His stats.
He went 23 of 38 for 306, a touchdown and an interception. It's not bad whatsoever. It's just the fact that you're getting absolutely crushed. They led 10 They had 10 drives that ended in a touchdown. 10 drives. It's absolutely insane what the Dolphins did on Sunday. I mean,
they 70 points is that's 3 games worth of points basically, right?
Yeah. No, it's
and 700 yards, right?
You don't see that.
Usually, some games is maybe 300 yards is considered a good game, right? In an offense, 700 yards.
700 yards. Like we're talking Madden numbers here, and not only that, like Mahomes with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce didn't even put up these phenomenal numbers. Tua and Mike McDaniel did, and that's with Tyreek Hill and without the number 2. So I mean, and by the way, this guy Devon. Achane, he had 4 total touchdowns on the day. He's a rookie and had 4 total touchdowns. And also Raheem Mostert, he had 4 total touchdowns as well. 3 rushing, 1 receiving touchdown. So hands down all around to the Miami Dolphins.
I mean, Nathaniel Hackett wasn't great, but he was not this bad. No, he was far from this. He never gave up 70 points and 726 yards.
Yeah. And by the way, he went 2-1 in his first 3 games with the win over the 49ers as one of them. Yeah. So I think right now, Sean Payton, saying that Nathaniel Hackett's coaching job is one of the worst, if not the worst in NFL history, and then putting up performances like this.
He's doing his best to outdo him, right? For a terrible coaching performance, and he's far succeeding.
And this was after Sean Payton made comments about simplifying the playing the play calling and wristbanding some plays because of what happened in the Washington game. Where Russell Wilson missed some throws and missed some open receivers. I mean, right now, Sean Payton has played this pretty poorly. He attacked the previous head coach. Now he's attacked Russell Wilson a number of times.
And now it looks like the players are giving up.
I mean, in this game,
they did. They gave up.
I guarantee you, not anyone in the entire world is going to still be trying when you're down by 45 points in a game. That just maybe in college because you're fighting to get to the NFL. But if we're talking about an NFL game, you're getting absolutely creamed by halftime, down by 22, and then you come out and you get smoked. I mean, by halftime, Miami's projection was 70 points because you scored 35 at half.
Then when you get that far behind, you're not going to win. You put in the second, third stringers and give them a chance to show what they can do. And maybe he did that, and they just have terrible players after the starters. I don't know.
Well, what was sort of telling about this was Sean Payton kept Russell Wilson in this game for the entire game. Never put in the backup quarterback for the Raiders last year that the Patriots had.
Stidham.
Yeah, Jarrett Stidham. Didn't even put him in. Didn't put any backup quarterback in. Left Russell Wilson out there to keep on playing.
Well, maybe to learn the offense better.
Maybe.
Right? Yeah, maybe.
But then again, I don't think the defense was horrible here. However, the offense should take a major hit here because that's where most of the money for the Broncos is going, on the offensive side. They're not paying the defense a lot, so you can't say
the defense was good last year.
The defense was very the fact that
they very good last year.
The fact that they have Pat Surtain, who was the second highest graded cornerback in the league. So the fact that this defense has regressed to this point is a little bit shocking here. Mm-hmm. But I got Russell Wilson for the first, half of games has looked really good. It's the second half where he crumbles. I mean, they put up 7 points in the second half, and that was in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, I don't know if Sean Payton has lost the locker room quite yet, but I will say this.
It's on his way. I don't know, what would you say to your players after they gave up 70 points and 726 yards the next time they meet?
There's only 2 ways you could look at this. You could use it as motivation to win your next game, or you just move past it like it never happened. There's no way you could sort of, talk about this and figure out everything went wrong. There's nothing that went really right here. Basically, every single thing went wrong. The defense, I mean, I think if I'm answering the question, are the Dolphins really this good or the Broncos? I think the Broncos are really this bad.
You do.
I do, because we saw we saw Tua throw for over 400 yards against the Ravens last year, so we know this offense could be high flying. The defense has just been abysmal so far for the Broncos.
The first game against the Chargers, the Dolphins lit it up too, right?
Yeah, Tua had was it Tyreek Hill over 200 yards in that game,
and Tua had 446 yards passing.
I'm telling you right now, like this offense with a healthy Tua, with a healthy Tyreek Hill, with the healthy Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle wasn't even this game, but I'm just saying they're a tremendous offense. And now you got this guy Devon Achane. I mean, he's put 18 carries, 203 yards. I mean, these are Madden numbers.
Yeah.
These are video game numbers here. And you know, it's insane exactly what the Dolphins have been able to do. And right now, I don't think I had the Dolphins as definite playoff teams. They've jumped a few spots for Nate's notches after next week. They're right now, spoiler, they're the number one team in the NFL. And I really think, based on the way they've been playing, I don't think it's very close. I mean, right now, the Chiefs don't look great on offense. They just tore up the Bears, but the Bears are the Bears.
Who are the Dolphins playing this week?
The Dolphins this next week upcoming are playing the Bills. And actually, what's crazy...
The Bills. Now, that's a big game.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Bills are favored in this game as well.
It's at Buffalo. I'm pretty sure, right? The game's at Buffalo.
That is correct, at Bills. Yeah. Hey, still though.
That favors the Dolphins because generally they play Buffalo late in the season. It's freezing up there. It's miserable, the weather, and that's not so good for a team that plays in Florida, right? So this year they're up there. It's not going to be that bad, right? It's not going to be snowing, I don't think, this time of year. So the next time they play them, it'll be in Miami. So I say Miami's got I think they got the upper hand. That's going to be a hard one to pick. It's going to be a hard one to pick.
I guarantee it'll not be a part of my Harvey hot end, but I don't know. It will be definitely interesting to choose who wins, Dolphins, Bills. But right now, Dolphins look like easily the best team in the NFL. And the Broncos, they got some soul searching. They go up against, I believe, the Bears this week. If they lose that one, if they lose this game, Russell Wilson's getting benched. I don't know if Sean Payton gets fired, but I know Russell Wilson will get benched. This is looking mighty grim right now for the Broncos, but they should get the ball rolling. They play two relatively easy games, the Bears and the Jets, the next 2 weeks, and then they go Chiefs, Packers, Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, Browns. Even the Texans, like I said earlier this year,
the Texans say, look at C.J. Stroud.
They just whooped the
playing like
the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Veteran quarterback.
He's
looking like he should have been the number one pick.
Hey, who picked him number one and said he'd be the best quarterback in the draft? You know, I'm just going to throw that. But, you know, it is interesting to see just how bad the Broncos have been, even though a lot of people were hoping they would be better. I'm just saying, you know, trend, not a blip. I've said that all offseason. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.